He evicted us in winter and hurt the strays, so I made sure he left in handcuffs. Rady was the kind of landlord who made you hate the word. The roof leaked, the heat barely worked, the lights buzzed like dying flies. He lost rent checks if you didn't hand them over in person, and threatened to evict anyone who complained. My mother begged him to fix the furnace when the pipes froze. He told her to buy more blankets. Ethan, my little brother, shivered himself to sleep, while Grady sat smug in his warm house across the street. He wasn't just greedy, he was cruel. I knew it the day I saw him kick a stray cat off the steps, laughing as it limped away. Later, I caught him setting baited traps in the alley, leaving them without food or water. Neighbors whispered about finding broken animals behind the dumpsters. That was the day Grady stopped being a landlord. He became a target. I didn't confront him. I watched. I learned his patterns. Out early, home by 3, drinking until midnight. He carried boxes into the basement where new locks kept everyone out. Cars pulled up, men slipped him envelopes and left with packages too small to be innocent. He thought no one noticed. I noticed everything. I set cameras at the fire escape and in the basement hall. They caught him laughing at a trapped cat. They caught the hand-to-hand trades, the boxes, the cash. I kept records, license plates, dates, times. My notes grew thicker than his fake ledgers. He bragged to tenants about evictions like trophies. Mrs. Alvarez cried in the hall after he shoved a notice under her door in January, clutching her birdcage and rent receipts he refused to honor. He told her to be out in 3 days. I told her to wait. The case was already building. I copied everything. Footage of animal cruelty, proof of unlicensed units, complaints he'd ignored. I slipped anonymous tips to animal control, housing, and the tax office. Each piece by itself was small. Together, they were fatal. The raid came on a gray afternoon. Squad cars, inspectors, animal control vans lined the block. Neighbors pressed against windows. Officers tore the locks off his shed, dragging out cages that stank of neglect. Boxes of pills, stacks of unreported cash. Animal control lifted out 2 shivering cats, pressing them to their coats. The crowd gasped, then cheered. For once, no one was afraid of Grady. He came home to flashing lights, jaw tight, voice booming. He tried shouting about rights, but the officers drowned him out with charges: animal cruelty, unlawful eviction, fraud, tax evasion, distribution. His wrists fit the cuffs perfectly. In court, the jury saw the footage. They heard the vet describe injuries that don't happen by accident. They heard tenants describe heat shutoffs, threats, bribes. The tax man spoke last, and numbers don't lie. Guilty on all counts: prison, fines, restitution. He'll never manage property again. The day after sentencing, the building felt new. The locks were changed. Repairs actually happened. Mrs. Alvarez moved back in. The strays came for food instead of cages, tails high as they rubbed against our steps. My mother slept easier, no longer counting sweaters before bed. Ethan laughed again, the kind of laugh that fills walls instead of bouncing off them. I sit on the porch some nights, listening to the quiet. Grady used to think he owned this street, but he doesn't own anything anymore. Every night when the cell door slams, he remembers the animals, the tenants, the neighbors who no longer fear him, and he remembers me, the shadow who turned his cruelty into